Welcome to Confirmation Bias, presented by the League Ambassadors.
I'm Ambassador Kenny Ken. There were 2 championship winners in women's basketball this weekend, and that's my confirmation bias.
I'm Ambassador Junior Blue, and the refs wanted to be the stars of the national championship game last night, and that's my confirmation bias.
I'm Ambassador Dad, and the refs in last night's national championship game were the real MVP. Thank you, Les, and that's my confirmation bias.
I ain't never watched women's sports, and I ain't never gonna start. And that's my confirmation bias.
And I'm Ambassador Chef Curry with the shot. I have a message to the Tar Heel, Mr. Justin Jackson. When it comes to your NBA career, the ceiling is the roof. And that's my confirmation bias.
Welcome to episode 7 of Confirmation Bias, hosted by the League Ambassadors. As a reminder, check us out on social media across all platforms, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, at our handle, the League AM, and on our website, theleagueam.com, where you can find all of our content, especially our new page, Diplomatic Community, where fans and viewers can submit their own writing and it can end up on our site. For those of you watching live on Facebook Live, please submit any questions and comments so we can attempt to answer your questions at the end of the show on our segment, Diplomatic Community. You can download Confirmation Bias and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel under League Ambassadors. So we got a good show today. Let's get into the hot topics. Over the weekend, we had the men and women NCAA basketball Final Four culminating last night, and the men's championship game. I kind of butchered that.
Hey, let's pass it on to Devin.
Yes. Yeah. Karma's a bitch. So before we get into anything, I just want to give a quick shout-out to Anthony J., who actually won our League Ambassador Bracket Challenge. He gets a $25 gift card courtesy of the League Ambassadors. So what I wanted to talk about, guys, your thoughts on the weekend's events. And I just wanted to start with Friday's Shot Heard Around the World with Miss Morgan William.
Yeah, I mean, Mississippi State, listen, it's not surprising that they lost Sunday because you got the letdown factor, the fact that they haven't beaten South Carolina in, I think, like 11 previous games. But their performance against Connecticut, the vaunted Connecticut women's basketball program, was admirable.
Snapping the streak. Snapping that 111-game streak. I mean, that's impressive.
Oh, we were talking about women's basketball.
Yes.
Fuck out of here. Come on, man.
Oh, low, man.
No, you still got to make that shot, though.
Yeah, you got to make the shot.
You got to make that shot.
Okay.
Omar would have to watch it to know.
Yeah.
But.
Right.
Anybody would have to watch it to know. Let's not pretend that y'all didn't all see the highlights.
No, I
saw the game.
I watched the second half of the game.
And then watching the game,
You got the yard outs.
Well, honestly, it was on TV. He wasn't actually watching this shit.
through osmosis he was watching. No, but Kenyon, you actually watched it.
Yeah.
Because we had a discussion about events leading up to before the shot. There was some controversy that happened.
Exactly. The one thing I don't like about the rule, it was like a, what is it? Turnabout is fair play, I think.
Well, explain it to me because I don't know what you're talking about. The rule.
The rule specifically around, so, I don't know, it's maybe about 25 seconds left. Yeah. And Connecticut had the ball. They attempted an entry pass. The person that they were, the girl that they were trying to throw the ball into, she basically threw an elbow at the Mississippi State player. They didn't call a foul. There was a turnover in possession. Mississippi State comes down, drives, airballs their shot. Connecticut gets the rebound. Now it's about 14 seconds left. They're coming down, and Connecticut calls a timeout to set up for the final shot. During the timeout, the refs go to review whether or not the elbow to the girl's face was a flagrant foul. Because in college, if it's a flagrant foul, it's a free throw plus possession. And at this point, the score was they were down. Connecticut was down 2 at the point of the timeout. So if you can imagine, you get 2 free throws
and the ball,
which is exactly what happened. And Mississippi State coach was livid. So the refs
were the real MVPs this weekend.
I mean, apparently it's an actual rule in college.
It's like 3 possessions later.
I've seen it a couple of times, but yeah, what didn't feel right about it, and you could tell, like the Mississippi State coach, what he was upset about was the fact that you had the actual possession. They didn't call anything. Mississippi State comes down, has a possession. Connecticut gets the ball, brings the ball back across the court, and calls a timeout. And you want to review something that happened 3 plays ago?
Yeah, and then they hit the 2 free throws,
tied the game.
Yeah.
And then they got a gift. Connecticut blew it because instead of milking the clock to take the final shot, the girl drives to the hoop, misses the shot, and then her name is William? I think her last name
Morgan
is
William.
Morgan William drives down and hits the shot.
Did that mess up any of you guys' women's bracket?
No, I had it picked out all the way. South Carolina. I got all games right.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it messed up anyone who did a women's bracket. It messed up their bracket.
All 3 of them.
But who put money down on Connecticut to lose though? They must have came up.
No, they came up.
If it happened,
What
it was
the
pretty
ref's
remarkable. Yeah, exactly. It was a great effort by Mississippi State.
And they were out of gas on Sunday night.
Out of gas, and it was a letdown. Just a straight up letdown. I mean, that was 100. That was their championship for them.
Yeah. So Don Staley, who those of you who don't know, is one of the all-time greats. Who's the coach of South Carolina. One of my favorite, if you can believe this, Omar, female college hoop stars. She was the first girl I saw rock the salt and pepper hairdo, crossing people up.
I was joking, man. Yeah, so I know who Don can ball.
Yeah, she went to the Final Four 3 times as a player, never won.
I'm not.
So she finally got her share. Nah, she's gonna give you work. So so kudos to them. Congratulations to South Carolina. Kev, I wanted to swing this to you specifically because you're one of those basketball purists. Let's talk about the Final Four on Saturday. Mr. Jordan Bell in his box out game.
Okay. And he took the blame for it. He didn't box out, and it was awful. You let a smaller guy come in and knock the ball away from you like that. But I personally don't think they lost that game because of Jordan Bell. As hard as that is for some people to
They
believe.
wouldn't have gotten in. They wouldn't have gotten to the game without Jordan Bell.
Exactly. He had 16 rebounds that game. Granted, the 2 that they needed.
He needed 18.
At least 17.
17 would have worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just Oregon didn't play a good game. I mean, they were jacking up threes that they weren't hitting. They had 16 turnovers. It just wasn't a clean game, and you have to. We've been saying it since we started on the show. If you're going to beat one of those top dogs, you got to come correct, and they just didn't execute.
The problem is sometimes you get blamed because of how big the moment is, and that was a big moment, and
absolutely,
he did not box out.
It's sort of that perspective or that opinion in a vacuum. It's like, who can we blame it on? So, as we're getting ready to talk about, in fact, with the national title game, a lot of blame rightfully so, assigned to the referees. In that game for Oregon, it's very easy to say, Jordan, like.
What's crazy, though, if you read NBADraft.net, his weakness is he uses his athleticism instead of actually boxing people out.
Oh, you don't say?
And
wow,
he goes after block shots a lot, leaving himself out of position.
Yeah,
causing his man to get rebounds.
Now Les, I know you hoop. Granted, he gets beat on the first one. You just get beat on national TV in the national semifinals, not boxing out a smaller player.
And then you do what?
And then you come back with a bigger player on free throws, right? First of all, North Carolina missed 4 straight free throws, right?
Yep.
And then you got big boy Meeks.
Kennedy Meeks.
So you decide to not box him out either?
So when you're dog tired, you played. When you're dog tired, and he was really the only big man they had. In the whole game, they have Meeks leaning on him. If you dog tired, sometimes you don't act right.
Well, the fundamentals
know that,
definitely
right?
slip.
Yeah,
the
they
technique
slip
and
when
the
that
fundamentals slip during fatigue.
No, I get that, but two times
saying,
in a row?
I'm saying he should have boxed him out, but hey.
All he had to do was one.
Because honestly, the first one, it looked like this is an easy rebound. It's a free throw. I'm going to pad my stats right here. Nope.
Feet was lead.
Yeah, exactly. And the second one, he took a step in instead of back.
Yeah, he got pushed underneath.
And it was a wrap.
And it was a chicken salad wrap sandwich.
Yeah.
But picking back off of what you were starting to talk about the officiating, let's talk about the game last night.
Everybody had something to say about the game, specifically around the officials.
How about with 10 minutes left in the second half, they had 21 fouls called in the second half alone.
Yeah.
Just that.
Yeah.
How about with 47 seconds left, Meeks is sitting on the sideline with his hand out of bounds and the ball sitting on his lap, and they say it goes to North Carolina with a 2-point game.
Yeah.
Well, there was another one where they said that it was the three-pointer was blocked out of bounds, and he fouled the guy, but they didn't call it. They gave it to Gonzaga.
It's funny because when the refs are part of the game, it's so easy to see. And it's like you should know as a ref that you should not be the story. This is these kids' future. The refs should not be the story, ever.
At some point, you do have to fall back. But the refs have been not great in this tournament. Very inconsistent. Yeah, the Gonzaga game, there was a blown call in Gonzaga's semifinal game. It's a difficult thing, and the thing is that you knew coming into this game that this was going to be a game won on the interior. So you let the boys play. Like Kevin, I know you know that as a referee coming into the game, they understand what the flow and the tempo of the game is going to be, and so they make certain decisions. And you knew coming into this game, this was about the two twin towers from Gonzaga going against Kennedy Meeks and I believe his name is Isaiah Hicks. Is it Isaiah Hicks from North Carolina?
Mr. Left Hand while he shoots. Me and you might have been the only people to see that he did that every time he shot the ball. But look, the officiating was bad. Everybody spoke up about it, but I also think for a close game, they were officiating bad basketball. I'm sorry.
Correct.
I sound like the purist, but man, if that game wasn't a 1-2 point game down the stretch, I would have turned to something else.
Well, do you think
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, do you think the officiating has something to do with the bad play, nobody's in rhythm?
It does affect tempo, but it doesn't affect Mr. Jackson going, 0 for 9 from 3? Half of them were wide open, and North Carolina wasn't hitting shots. They went, 35% from the...
Also, I was underwhelmed by the big guy from Gonzaga, too. I think his draft stock went down. Yeah, Mark Eaton Jr.
Fat Mark Eaton. All right, it's time for Black versus Blue. Okay, hope or hype? Mr. Patrick Ewing, after 15 years of being an assistant coach all over the NBA, he finally gets his shot at Georgetown. Now, some say there was a 7-foot bias because, a lot of the NBA coaches are point guards. But now you have him being a center, and it took him 15 years, longer than any other player on the top 50 NBA player list to get a coaching job who wanted to coach. Now, is it a hit or flop at Georgetown?
Who knows? College basketball, it depends on, is he a good recruiter?
Yep.
You can be a good coach if you can't get these kids in, it don't even matter.
Yep. Connections are everything. Are you able to understand and follow the NCAA playbook?
From what it seems like, he had a 5-minute interview anyway.
Right. I think that's yeah. Well, I think that's the larger issue is that the specter of John Thompson Jr. is lording over this program, and they fired his son, but they still want him.
They adopted.
They got his adopted son.
Pretty much.
Exactly, and And word on the street has been that Georgetown job, the reason why they had a hard time finding a replacement is because of the specter of John Thompson and his influence. And so now you bring in a guy, great name. It's a throwback to the past. But yeah, can he answer the question about recruiting? Can he answer the question about following the NCAA by rules? Can he resurrect a dead program? And oh, by the way, Georgetown, it's a hard school to get in. So recruiting is going to be at a disadvantage already.
Well, I think that if Grape Ape steps into a parent's living room.
What did you say?
What?
Grape Ape.
Grape Ape.
Shout out to Slug.
I thought that's what he said, Omar. But then I was like, no, he said Great Abe. Great Abe.
Nah, I'm talking about Patrick Ewing. But he is Mr. Hoya. But if he walks into a living room, if he walks into a living room, I think that it'll be like the Magic Johnson effect out here in LA. I don't know how he is as a coach. There has to be a reason why he hasn't been hired yet.
Well, he has had one thing. He has is a lot of people backing him. There are a lot of people who are singing his praises that they think he will be a great head coach. He just hasn't got the chance yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you aren't backing him, Omar. As much as we talk about nepotism on the show, this is our chance. Got John Thompson Jr. hired his son that he couldn't name the third. Listen, keep it in the family as long as y'all can, Georgetown. I approve.
Why would I back him?
You preach nepotism.
What are you talking about?
Watch the shows, Omar.
On to hit or flop. Let's get on past that. Adrian Peterson had a meeting with the New England Patriots.
Man, them reality checks are getting really big.
So we know the Patriots weren't going to offer him what he wanted. Is it a hit or flop if he actually signs for less money there? And does it make the New England Patriots, when will they lose or if they lose, if he goes there?
Yeah, I think it would be a hit for the Patriots if they were to get Adrian Peterson. I think Adrian Peterson's experience in free agency has been a flop.
Dismal. Dismal is the word.
Yeah, it's been a flop. I think. Yeah, I mean, obviously, who wouldn't want to use an Adrian Peterson, especially if you're the Patriots? I mean, you're stacking.
First of all, their offseason has already been redonkulous.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
But look, 32 years. Well, 32. Next week, I think.
Yeah.
2 out of the last 3 seasons, he's had season-ending knee injuries. Can he stay healthy?
The thing is, if he goes to the Patriots, he would only be going to get to the playoffs. So they wouldn't even play him that much.
Exactly. Well, he'd be like Corey Dillon. They'd use the Corey Dillon.
But not even
let him loose.
Not even that. They don't need him to get there.
No.
He's a throwaway.
Yeah. No. It's getting really interesting for Mr. Peterson. You know, this draft is not going to get any better because after this draft, there's a lot of good backs.
Further down.
The stock goes further down, and he's going to have to make some hard choices, I feel.
He needs to step out of his vacuum because obviously he's in the wrong. The people who are surrounding him are not giving him good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, on to newsworthy or nothing to see. Mr. Tony Romo retired today and took a broadcasting job with CBS.
This story has changed over the week.
Now, tell me, a 37-year-old quarterback who the last 2 seasons hasn't been able to play because of injury, 2 playoff wins in the last 9 seasons. It's newsworthy, but I have a question. If he played for the Chiefs, would it be newsworthy? Or is it just because Romo was a Cowboy that he is in the news?
Well, that's attached to the story because it's the Cowboys. So the thing is, also Jerry Jones he knows that a good soap opera he likes to have the eyes. So I mean, he could have handled this way better. And I think Tony Romo called his bluff. He decided to just quit instead of waiting on Jerry Jones.
Really, I think there might be some collaboration in it. I think it's actually nothing to see because I think he's coming back. And
that was my next question.
And I think what's happening is you retire, they make you the cap casualty, and now what you do is you say, because the stories were already out there that he could potentially be going into broadcasting. Mm-hmm. So now that he has officially signed with CBS, now his value goes up. So if you want me to come back, that number, because the Texans, it was reported that the Texans were interested in him, but only at a small number with a lot of incentives. Now you get to drive your price point up because you already have another job.
Can he get hurt in the booth?
Yes. So you think this is a collaboration between him and Jerry Jones?
Well, I think they sat down. And I think Jerry said, "Listen, I'm going to try to trade you because I'm going to try to get something out of you, preferably from the people that you're interested in," which reported to be the Texans and the Broncos. Then when that didn't happen, Jerry says, "Listen, retire, because you can get more money." That I believe the respect and the admiration is such to where they literally have been talking about this whole thing, and I do feel as if the plan, you retire, you take this other job, and now you're valued.
First of all, Elway's not doing that, so now you eliminated to one team. You think they're going to come up with enough to get him out of retirement?
There's a lot. There's training
But what
camp.
happens
There's a
when
lot
somebody
can
gets
happen.
hurt?
Exactly.
Quarterback Garrett.
Then you worrying about ifs.
No, that's when it happens.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
That's why we were looking at He's looking at you, kid.
Like I said, he doesn't watch the show.
I live it. I ain't supposed to watch it. Today, we settle all family business. This is You With It or Not, our debate segment. We have a subject. Our two debaters have to prepare for the for and for the against. No one knows what they're going to get till we flip the coin. And today's subject is about Jerry Cross, who died on March 21st. Jerry Cross came to fame as the GM of the Chicago Bulls.
Architect of the Bulls.
Those 6 championships with Jordan, Phil Jackson. He has a famous quote saying that organizations win championships and not players and coaches. Even though he swears he was misquoted on that. But so our debate segment today is who wins championships, organizations, or is it the player and coaches? Today our debaters are Devin and his little brother Kevin.
Little brother. ain't never won.
Oh, are you?
And it's Jerry Krause.
Oh, and 99, Kevin?
I'm Michael Corleone of this crew.
So today we will have the brothers going at it. Let me get this the timer set.
Flip the coin, brother.
Oh, we got to flip the coin. Well, you want me to timer set or to flip the coin? I told you somebody else do it.
I got the time, Omar.
All right.
I got the bell.
I'm going to flip the coin. You know.
Let's help Omar out.
Yes, please. It's going to be a shit
Somebody
show.
call it. Tell somebody to call it.
Who's going to call it?
You got to pick.
Well, let's go with the younger brother.
Call it on the phone.
Tails never fails. Go ahead and
Tails.
flip it.
So everybody can see it. Heads.
It is heads.
It is heads.
So Devin gets to choose.
I will take players and coaches, Alex, for 100.
It looks like your losing streak is going to continue. So you get to choose who goes first.
Let him go first.
Okay, let me know.
Ready, set, go, Dev.
In 70 years of the NBA, only 31 coaches have won the title. Only 12 coaches have won more than one ship. Only Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, and Alex Hannum have won more than with 2 different teams. Phil Jackson coached Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Rodman. He also coached Shaq and Kobe. Pat coached Showtime. He showed coached Young D. Wade and Shaq. Even Spoelstra got 2 ships with the Heatles, and they went to 4 straight finals. Red Auerbach had 9 Hall of Famers on his 1963 championship team. Popovich had Tim Duncan, David Robinson, and the entire time Tim Duncan was there. And now he has 6 backs, Leonard, on his team. If you look at the 1999-2000 Portland Trailblazer roster, put together by management and their GM, they were the deepest team ever aside from the bad boy Pistons. But they never got it done because they had Mike fucking Dunleavy as their coach. How many instances do we have where star players firing coaches get someone there in their place to make them better? We got Magic firing Paul Westhead after they won a ship in 1982, and then Pat Riley comes in. 20 years later, Pat Riley replaces Stan Van Gundy in Miami with the same team, and then they won it in 2006. In 98 and 99, the Los Angeles Lakers had a stupid squad. Everybody wanted to play with them on Live. They couldn't get it together until Phil Jackson came in 2000. It's always been a combination of the right player and the right coaches having a symbiotic relationship so they can have success. You can buy the Kobe beef, you can buy the lobster, the fresh asparagus, but if the cook is trash and the pans are dirty, the food is shit. I'm out.
What? Hey, you must have bought Symbiotic off Kenyon's Twitter.
Kevin, 3, 2, go.
Okay, I'm gonna make this clear that organizations win championships. They are the architects who see the big picture. They do the planning, the scouting, even the spending to put guys in positions to win before the offseason training even starts. You can look at teams like the Oakland A's with Billy Beane and Moneyball. That's front office. Look at the Dallas Cowboys pulling off the Herschel Walker trade, which set them up to dominate the 90s. That is front office. You look at even in football with the Ravens and the Steelers with Ozzie Newsome and the Steelers GM Kevin Colbert. They built physical teams that are specifically designed to beat their opponents year in and year out. No matter who you put in that matchup, you're going to get the same type of football, the same close games. These teams compete against each other, and it comes down to 2 or 3 points every time. I think when, like Omar said, you bring up Jerry Krause, he drafted Michael Jordan. As easy as that choice was at the time, he still pulled the trigger. He rescued Phil Jackson from the CBA, who was considering retirement, made a move to change basketball for probably the next 30 years, excluding what he did with the Knicks. He drafted Scottie Pippen, landed Tony Kukoc, had the heart to stare Charles Oakley in the face, trade him for Cartwright. It was risky enough to trade for Dennis Rodman, who many people would have thought was a head case and wasn't worth the investment. So he kept reloading that championship team around Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen to keep that dynasty intact. You move on to Jerry West, who all of you, of course, are familiar with, who orchestrated 3 different championship eras in basketball. And I think his example is the most impressive when you look at how the game has changed and how he's built relevant teams with the Showtime Lakers, the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, and now we see what he's doing in Golden State with drafting guys that no one really cared much about coming out the draft, but now they have basically a dynasty in place. And you throw in Kevin Durant. I mean,
The bell has rung, young sir.
I hear it.
Just take your loss like a man. Les, you are the decider today.
All right, I came in feeling like it was the players. And my confirmation bias was confirmed. So, Big Brother wins. Hey, look, I look at it like this. Jerry Krause, you were still the GM in 98. They haven't won since. Jerry West was the GM between 92 and 99. Lakers didn't win anything then. I mean, you need the players to be there. Jerry Jones, they haven't. I mean, you proved the point. Jerry Jones, he's been the owner, GM, everything in that front office, and they haven't won in 20 years plus.
In my personal opinion, it's a combination of both. You can have a great organization if you don't hire a great coach to coach those players. It's everything. It has to be a symbiosis. But that's my opinion.
I think you can luck up on players and be a bad organization.
The Clippers.
You can also put but yeah, the other thing is that you can also put together players. You can put together a good team, but if they don't play well together, and if you don't have a good coach, you're still not going to have the end product, which is a championship. So I think that's where the edge would go.
Kevin?
Whatever you guys say. Gonna move on to diplomatic immunity. Gonna look at our Facebook live stream and see the love that we're getting from the crew. Let me see what we got here. We got a question from Jasmine, who always holds it down. She wants to know our thoughts on Sage Steele, since it's National Equal Pay Day. Whoa.
It's National Lose Your Job Day.
Yeah, exactly.
To give it some context, Sage Steele was replaced by Michelle Beadle, if I'm getting the name right, on NBA Countdown. She's from the B, so I feel a little upset about her getting let go, but I also get it. Sage Steele kind of has that. Not Sage Steele, sorry. Michelle Beadle kind of has that rapport with Jalen Rose and.
So wait, Kev. So Coonan didn't help in this case?
Nope.
So they replaced somebody who wanted to be a white girl with an actual white girl? I'm okay with that.
Whoa! Next question.
Question. Scott Cameron wants to know.
They sit next to each other.
They represent. It's a good question, though. Who would be your NBA Final Four in the playoffs? We can assume Golden State and Cleveland are in there. Give us two other teams.
Can we get 3 out the West?
Oh, man.
Yeah, San Antonio and
Boston.
The Wizards.
There. I'm going the same place you're going, Devin, but I say Milwaukee. Their length is enough.
Pause.
Pause. It's enough. It's enough. I said enough.
I do think they have the possibility to be the big surprise out the East.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say Houston and the Wizards also. There's no way I picked the Celtics.
Houston over San Antonio?
Yes.
Interesting.
You got anything else, Kev?
Last question. One that I actually wish we could have got in. Going back to the tournament, were there any players from the Final Four that you guys think will be that are NBA ready or could be good players on the next level?
Nigel Goss-Williams.
Yeah.
Point guard for Gonzaga. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Decent size for that position.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a Spurs jersey with his name on it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. There's a Spurs jersey with his name on it. They're looking for a Tony Parker replacement. I know they got Dejounte Murray, but Nigel Goss-Williams is nice. He's nice.
What do you think about Sindarius Thornwell?
Yeah, I like him too. I mean, he's definitely a rotational player.
Future bad name baller.
Yeah.
Exactly. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for today. Thank you for joining us on Confirmation Bias. Check us out on social media across all handles at The League AM on our website, theleagueam.com. Check out Diplomatic Immunity. Blog us if you wish. You can see all our content on our site. Check us out. Please share on social media. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, liking is cool, but sharing is caring. Please let us know if your bias has been confirmed. See y'all Thursday.